There's power in a factory, power in the land, power in the hand of the worker. But it all amounts to nothing if together we don't stand. There is power in a union. Now the lessons of the past are all learned with workers' blood, with strikes on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Manns, and I'd like to welcome you to the pre-recorded September 4th, 2023 edition of the show. This is the 469th show that we have done since the closing of North Adams Regional Hospital, and the 9th show that we have done since the announcement of its possible reopening. And as the mission statement for the April 4th coalitions is, we are for workers' rights and collective bargaining rights and are against tax breaks for the rich and corporations who ship our jobs overseas. We support all the articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but as is our custom, we put the emphasis on Article 23. And Dick.
All right, Article 23, Section 1. Everyone has the right to work, the free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and protection against unemployment. Number 2, everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work.
Number 3, everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, ensuring for herself or himself and her or his family an existence worthy of human dignity and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection. Michael.
Here we go. Everyone has the right to form and join trade unions for the protection of his or her interests.
And as is our custom, we give a thank you to Michael Putnam, who is the Community Radio Program Director for WMNB LP 107.1, for airing the audio portions of our show on his station, especially on Fridays at 6 p.m., and to the fabulous staff here at Northern Berkshire Community Television for helping us produce our show. And we thank Joanne Hurlbut, Nicole Brown, and David Fabiano for all their assistance. And at the start of the show, I said this was pre-recorded because it's Labor Day holiday and the studio is closed, so we have to come in early and tape the show in advance. And so today we're going to do a Labor Day theme.
Yeah, it's always a lot of pressure because Labor Day, that's our thing.
That's our thing. Yes, it is.
We're for workers' rights and collective bargaining rights, and we advocate for collective bargaining rights, and
unless I'm mistaken, I got to ask Sue a question. Sue, were you actually in a union when you were a respiratory therapist or anything?
No, but they were trying to get a union in, but it never
Never materialized?
Never materialized.
Because I didn't want
That was a
to
long
lump
time
you
ago,
in and
too.
say that with us, and it's not an exclusion of you as a person.
Thank you.
It's just simply that the three of us happen to have all been involved in unions.
yeah.
So if we go a little far of a field for you, our
No
apologies.
problem.
No, but we, Michael, how many unions have you belonged to?
Jeez. Let's see, the first one I belonged to was in Williamstown, Aiken Chemical Company. There's a union, but it was a non-union because we could see anybody. Nobody there when I went in. Heck, I got probably about at least 5, maybe 6. Been
You
around.
want to meet each one? Can you name each one?
I probably couldn't. Let's see, in Colorado, we made Jeep tops for, I can't really think of the names.
You were Extile, you were...
Extile, we did Extile, yeah, that was a wonderful place. And the problem with that was, now, Extile came in a moment, and the man who I had problems with before I became Extile was Hunters at that time. I had problems with him. I was a good worker, remember that now. And he looks at me and he says, I'm hiring you, but I don't want any problems. And I told him, there shouldn't be. Well, as we all know the story of Extile, there was a hell of a problem. Well, I'll tell one thing. It was the first time that the workers were put ahead of the bankruptcy court money that was owed to the corporations. I can't remember, I was with Maynard Cedar, I think was up there and talked to him. And it was just amazing. It's just fighting for things you shouldn't have to fight for. We fought for that though. the people bonded. We marched on City Hall. It was good. It really was. And we get people for the first time. I started speaking to them, and I admit that we said a few things to the people who came in to buy the scenery. I'm standing out there in the parking lot. The guy said, "I got brand new fancy cars parked right there." He said, "You're going to protect my cars, right?" I said, "You got to be kidding. I'm moving."
Well,
And where-
I think he was going for me next. Technically I've been in one, but I'm current, which was the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees. My father was in several, so I grew up in a union environment. And I can tell you, I worked at Price Chopper, which was privately owned, family-owned store, and they were constantly beating back the the competition from the other stores and stuff. And they would often try to get you to make you feel angry that you didn't get a benefit because this had to happen. They couldn't possibly do this because they needed all the resources to fight off this union store, that union store, and Price Chopper. But when I went to work for the Commonwealth of Mass, I got that, and now I'm in the ASME retirees, along with the Commonwealth of Mass State Retirement Association, because you might as well be in both sides of the coin and see what's going on with that one. And your turn, Dick.
Well, I grew up in a union family. My father grandfather was in the union at the railroad, Boston Maine Railroad, and then after he worked for the city of North Adams as a custodian, he was in the union there, and the teachers and the custodians had the same union. Then they separated, so he helped found the custodians union for the city and custodians. When I went to work at Arnold Print Works, I was a member of the Textile Workers of America. I worked in a couple non-union places. I worked at Arbor Acres and ended up leaving, but tried to organize on health issues there. And then I worked at Wells Tool Company in Greenfield. Mr. Malloy hired, it was a small operation. When he hired me, he says, "I know you. I don't want you organizing a union in here," So I went to work for him.
Good.
And we were organizing a food co-op. And I was passing out stuff for a food co-op because I told you none of that stuff around here. I said, "It's just a food co-op. It's not a union." He says, "No, I don't want any of that in here," But anyways, but then I was a member of the National Association of Letter Carriers for a number of years, and I'm still a member. But right now, union membership is on the rise,
Yep.
but it's really low compared to what it was
And it's heyday.
before in its heyday. We've gone on a long decline, but
Right.
right now, recently, the Teamsters just got a 5-year contract with UPS, and it's a really good contract. We got the nurses are working on a contract now. We know the Actors Guild
Is
and the
working on
Writers Guild.
SAG, yep.
They're out on strike right now, fighting for a better contract and for their future.
Yeah, because they're worried about the digital
Yeah, I mean, I ran
evolution taking away
I ran
live
into
acting and
Kelly
writing.
Lee yesterday. He used to have a TV show here, Kelly Lee, but he was a member of the Actors or the Screenwriters Guild in their last strike, and he got blackballed because he was one of the heads of it, and he worked for that union. But I guess they got brought in like they were going to be negotiating, and they just got hardballed. They just said, "This is what we're offering you, and if you don't like it, hit the road." So that strike isn't going to get over with very quickly.
Anytime soon, because I think the studios feel they can get by without because of the
Right.
digital era.
Right, but we'll have to support them. But
We do.
right now, right now there's a lot going on nationally. There's a lot of frustration, and there's one song that's made the country charts by Oliver Anthony, and I wanted to share it with you because it's becoming a controversy. But why don't we watch it first?
Are you going to sing with it?
No.
Dang.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. All it is, living in the new world with an whole soul. Do These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north of Richmond. I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. But God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
You're right.
What do you think?
He didn't offer a solution, you're right, but, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Sue.
No, I was just saying, I like the music.
Yeah, the music is good, and
Yeah,
he's
just-
painting a good
good-
portrait of a society at the time, correct? I can't remember when he did.
This
first
is
did
recent. This
This
just
is
came,
recent.
just come out.
This
just
is
come out.
new. So he's reflecting the society that
Right.
he sees,
Right.
which is, and it's probably obviously hitting a chord for it to be at the top of the charts at this point, because I can tell you a perfect example, my stepson right now is like, he's finally got that full-time job, and he's still working another job, and he says, the money doesn't go, I'm still treading water, I'm not really saving. He's trying, but he just physically, he's always on the go trying to make money rather than having time to just be with himself, be with his child, trying to carve out the rest of the pieces that we expect out of America, and it's not, so you can feel it in the society.
He talks about welfare and milking welfare. And I was on welfare when I was about 19, and I had a young son. And Governor Dukakis, he put out a real nice plan. And one was a respiratory therapist, the other one was an OR technician, and you worked a year and a half in the hospital, and then you're a technician. You didn't have to go to college. I mean, back then it was a wonderful place to work. But I just wanted to say that, I wanted to work.
Yeah, he had a heart.
And he really gave out, some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I was very lucky.
I don't like the fact that he was angry at people who are on welfare or overweight, and because that has a lot to do with our whole society and
How you eat, what you can afford to
what
eat,
you
and
can
all that.
afford to eat, and also like companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, the soda companies, they sell their wares. They should be treated like cigarette companies, because those things are really harmful to your health. And you know, so I wouldn't blame the people on the bottom. I would blame the people on the top. They have, you know, they can be rich, but like Martin Luther King's economist said, you know, they can be rich, but they just shouldn't have to get rich so fast. You know, they could stay rich, but they don't have to keep doubling their money every minute. You know, if they paid a little bit more and helped those at the bottom. Mike, what do you have to say about
Not much on this. I think you guys covered better than me.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
it's great because it talks all about the workers and workers' rights.
Yeah.
And also, people have to remember, too, to really only guarantee you what you need is that to form a group before you do anything against the company. You know, make sure this is what you gave us, this is what we want, and make sure you get the most people you ever had. Because if you walk out in a group, you'd be amazed how fast companies say, well, wait a minute, let's talk here. They will. I don't mean get radical, but do something where he knows or she knows that this company can't run without the workers.
Well, that's
That's what he's saying. The workers are frustrated right now, but it's also being captured by other people. And
Right, the
why don't
rich.
we look at a CNN news report about this song and how it's been,
the elite class is
yeah,
turning
well,
it, co-opting it,
yeah, or
using it.
racial white supremacists too. Can we see that video on CNN?
Oliver Anthony's Rich Man North of Richmond is now a huge hit. The song has topped the Billboard Top 100 just weeks after it was released on YouTube, and some of its biggest fans are conservative listeners. The song even got a mention at this week's presidential debate.
His lyrics speak of alienation, of deep frustration with the state of government and of this country. Washington, D.C. is about 100 miles north of Richmond.
These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Your dollar ain't shit.
But in a new video statement, Anthony made it clear that he was not a fan of his song being used in a political context.
So, Governor DeSantis.
It was funny seeing it at the presidential debate because it's like I wrote that song about those people, you know? So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. It's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them.
We should note that the debate moderator, Brett Baer, told Politico that they did track Anthony down ahead of the debate and they got his permission to use the song. They got that permission about 2 days before the debate.
Yeah, so
But
it's being co-opted, you know?
Right.
So, but
he probably didn't know how they were going to use it
yeah,
though, when he said,
but
oh,
he's
sure.
expressed his anger. But what it did is our theme song by Billy Bragg that we always use. This song drew Billy Bragg's attention because he felt that he wasn't offering a solution. He was just saying this is the way it is. So Billy Bragg, let's listen to Billy Bragg's response to that song. I don't think he's condemning it, but he's providing an answer. Let's hear what Billy Bragg has to say.
If you're selling your soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, well, nothing's gonna change if all you do is wish you could wake up and it not be true. Join a union. Fight for better pay, you better join a union, brother. Organize today, you'll see where the problem really lies when the union comes around. Rich men earning north of $1 million wanna keep the working folk down, wanna keep the working folk down. If you form a union, you'll soon find that working people are all of one kind. So we ain't gonna punch down on those who need a bit of understanding and some solidarity. That ain't right, friend. If you're struggling with your health and you're putting on the pounds, doctor gives you opiates to help you get around. Well, wouldn't it be better for folks like you and me if medicine was subsidized and healthcare was free? Join a union. Fight for better pay. Come on and join a union, sister. Organize today. It comes down to the self same thing if you're black or white or brown. Rich men earning north of $1 million wanna keep the working folk down. Wanna keep the working folk down. Well, we know your culture wars are there to distract while libertarian billionaires avoid paying tax. You wanna talk about bathrooms while the floodwaters rise. The forest is on fire and the wind burns our eyes. Ah. Something's wrong here. Well, they wanna divide us because together we're strong. Are you gonna take action now you sung your damn song? If you don't like the rich man having total control, you better get the union to roll. Join a union. Fight for better pay. Come on and join a union. Organize today. Don't matter if you live in the city or some little country town. Rich men earning north of $1 million. Rich men earning north of $1 million. I say rich men earning north of $1 million wanna keep the working folk down. Wanna keep the working folk down. If you're selling your soul and you're working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, join a union.
He's got a solution.
Yeah, he presented a solution. He did, and it's one we would, all of us would probably agree with.
I would
I
agree.
hope I'm not
Oh, no, I would agree.
Yeah.
speaking for everybody because of a life experience has taught us all that if you're in a group, you're stronger than when you're solo voice.
Very good.
Exactly.
I like that line where he said, stop punching down, like when the other singer was talking about people on welfare. You're punching down,
Yeah.
you know? They're not the cause. The people who are below you, they're not the cause of the problem, you know? Got to punch up. That's where
You got to
we're-
punch up and that's the
Here's a new
greatest
battle cry.
fear of the ones above is that you're going to punch up.
Yeah, they're trying to divide us. He talks about it. He said they need solidarity. That's what they need. They don't need people pointing the finger saying they need solidarity. They need support. They need compassion.
That's right.
You know,
No, and they need a clear purpose for what they want.
right? I mean, I remember when they asked. I think it was what was that union head, founder of the AFL-CIO. I can't think of his name right now. I should.
Oh, the one who just died, or the one?
No, he was a long time ago. Gompers, was it Samuel Gompers?
Might have been. Seems right.
I think it was Samuel Gompers.
I heard the name.
Yeah, I think it was him. They asked him, "What do you want? You know, what do you want?" He says, "Well, we want a more beautiful childhood, a happier childhood, a more beautiful womanhood, and a more noble manhood. You know, we want We want
Another-
people to be able to survive, you know?
Right. You wanted people to act a little bit more. You wanted people to be able to live,
Right,
people to be able to dream,
right. And have free time, too.
and free time to do
You
it.
know, that's one of the things in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I don't know if I can find it right away, but, you know, you have the right to free time in a society. You can't be working 3 jobs just to stay above water. People have a right to be paid a wage so they can work 40 hours and then have time to be with their family, support their community. And, you know, people wonder why there's no participation in civic
There's no
events. So you're,
space for it.
you're very active in the Elks and other
Yes, I am.
civic organizations, you know, and they're saying, oh, people aren't joining anymore. Well, they don't have the time. You know, they're
They
working
don't,
2, 3
and I have to
jobs.
carve the niche. I have to say, I'm going to give this time to this organization. I mean, I have more now
Right,
because I'm part-time as opposed to full-time and retired. So that gave me a little bit more space, but when I was working, you know, it was a tight balancing act, but I was, in some ways, advantageous because I only had the one stepchild to raise and take care of, as opposed to a family. But if I'd had more than one, there's no way I could have balanced all the pieces to make it work at the time. And yes, that's exactly why they do it, to keep you from time. And then you can sit in church and hear the pastor lament the same thing and say,
there's no one here.
there's no one here, or there's not enough volunteers to go around and do the things, and all the ones you have are aging, and it's because there's no time. The young have no time to give it, or they're so disillusioned at this point
Right,
that they don't see any benefit to giving it, because they don't realize, they didn't grow up realizing that community and support is where your strength lies.
Exactly.
Sorry, Mike, did I co-op what you were going to say again? Or,
I mean, what?
did I co-op you two?
Susan, we have
No,
a
I mean,
little over a
you
minute
talk
to
about
go.
community, and back then, I mean, my aunts all lived on the same street. You know, my grandmother was just down the road. I mean, we had a nice little community as far as communities within a community,
Yes.
is what I'm trying to
Right.
bolster.
And that gave you support.
Exactly.
Mike,
Well, what?
you were saying it before, you might as well say it again.
What?
You said it on the last show, say it again.
Follow the people?
No, unity and strength and
Oh, yeah.
solidarity.
United. Well, I said, if you're united, they listen. If you're not united, they can't hear you.
Correct.
Somewhere in that area. Really seriously. If the people really want something done, the majority of them, and they get rid of what the one person wants, personal need, and you all join to remedy that, and you do it. And you let them know this is the way it's going to be. And I tell you something, if you've got a lot of people, don't care where you're at, and they all get together, somebody's going to pay notice you. Because they can't afford it. They can't. And I've been through some
Yeah.
unique experiences.
Right, that's what brought the April 4th Coalition together, was that unity with Wisconsin when their workers their collective bargaining rights were being taken away from them. It was, you know, in 2011 that we got together and we did a solidarity demonstration in front of City Hall saying we're in solidarity with those workers out in Wisconsin. And it's taken a long time, but
They're
things
piecing
are
it back.
about to change this month in Wisconsin, because finally they got the Supreme Court in Wisconsin that supports workers. So rules are going to change.
Okay.
But solidarity, it takes steadfastness and hard work.
Right? And we'll see you next week.
There's power in the factory, power in the land, power in the hand of the worker. But it all amounts to nothing if together we don't stand. There is power in our union. Now the lessons of the past were all learned with workers' blood. The strikes of the bosses we must fight for. From the cities and the farmlands to trenches full of mud, war's always been the bosses' wife.